Here's my tire. There's my tire. There's my tire. Dude, it's out. Hey, what's up, GT gang? Welcome back to the channel. If you're new, I'm Mojo, and today I'm here with my good friend Dylan. You wanna go ahead and introduce yourself?
Yeah, hey, what's up, guys? I'm just helping out today, helping haul some parts pretty much. Nothing too crazy, but...
Okay, so the story of the video, we are doing a Hellcat rear end swap on my 2006 Dodge Charger SRT8. So I'll go ahead and show you guys exactly what we have here for the swap. So right off the bat, we have obviously the entire rear subframe cradle out of a Hellcat. I have it already painted, everything. You've already seen that in a previous video. Make our way down, we have the sway bar, obviously. There's a couple parts not pictured that are still in my car, but we have control arms and such, and also the 309 LSD out of a Scat Pack. I didn't get the one from the Demon, but the 309 gear ratio is something that I was really after just because my 306 that was stock, I had a great drivability on the roads, as well as being able to launch pretty good at the track. So without further ado, I'm excited. I hope you guys are excited. We'll go ahead and get started on this. Let's go. So I did want to actually add that you do have to buy Hellcat rear spindles. I could not find them without the control arms, so I actually, between the two, I had to spend $800 to get them to my door. So beware of that. The most expensive part about all of this will be the spindles, just because you can't buy them without the control arms, because everybody knows that people swap in these spindles and they can make more money if they sell with the control arms and nothing else. And also, I'd like to note that you will obviously need the Hellcat axles. I did not bring them because I will not be installing this entire assembly today. I just wanted to show you guys what I was doing and kind of the basis around it as we pull out the 06 rear subframe. Let's get started. Here is the rear subframe. As you can see, I painted it with Rust-Oleum. I brushed it on 2 coats. This should be very durable, especially in the climate that we live in the Midwest. It should withstand all the fights that it has to come up against with the weather. So we have our rear sway bar. I'm thinking about upgrading in the future. It is a pretty easy swap, so I'm really not worried about it right now. It's just a matter of swapping everything over. We have our various control arms between here, here, and here, and we have our LSD. It looks, as you can see, that it was open, but the person I bought it from said that it only has 5,000 miles. I guess we'll find out. Maybe I'll look into doing a ZF rear end rebuild. I mean, I'm rebuilding the entire car. Let's see what we can do with this. But it is a 309 LSD, and if you check the part number, it does say that it's for Scat Pack. I do know that because the guy that has the Scat Pack sold it to me. So we'll go ahead and jack up the car. We're going to put it on jack stands. There are jack stand points right in front of the rear tires. Go ahead and do that, and then we'll get under the car and see what we have to take out. Step one, baby. Okay, guys, so this is what we've got going on. We have the car completely jacked up. Here's my tire. There's my tire. There's my tire. Anyway, let's get back to the job here. As you can see, this car's been sitting for a hot minute. Basically, all we have to do is disconnect brake lines, disconnect the ABS sensor, as well as, obviously, the struts. So what we'll do is, seems like a 16 millimeter fits this pretty well. I've got it right here, so we'll go ahead and show you guys for proof. There you go, that 16 mil fits pretty good on that. So we'll pop those out. There is no nut on the top, so you just have to run these out on both sides. And then from there, we'll go to the ABS sensors. I'm thinking about just disconnecting them right here at the actual hub. And then we'll go from there, I guess. I mean, this is obviously the first time I've done this, but we'll cut the brake lines out. Well, not cut them, but we'll remove them and go from there. And then we should only have the 4 bolts holding up the rear subframe. It should be a pretty easy removal, and depending on time, we might throw the other one together. Maybe not throw it in, but leave it under the car. It'd be pretty cool. What originally we were gonna do is just pull the entire wheel speed sensors off, but after some further investigation, we're gonna pop all these grommets back into their spot here, their brackets. the wire back into the brackets. And there's this connector right here. So we'll pull, we're gonna break that apparently. And all you have to do is disconnect this. And then that will be disconnected from the chassis, and then you can just drop your rear subframe. So all we have left to do is brake lines, that strut on that side, and we'll be able to drop the whole thing. Okay guys, so we're at the e-brake cable here, and quite honestly I've never done one of these before, so what I did was I figured it out before showing you guys because I don't like looking like an idiot. So what you do is there's this little tab here, and this is to go to the passenger side rear, just for reference. So there's this little tab, you'll pull this back, and then what you'll actually be able to do is, let me set you guys up, what you'll do is once that tab is pulled out, you'll be able to push this forward, and I'll turn this so you can see it, and then pop it right back out. And what we'll do is I'm actually going to put this on, so what I can do is pop this bracket out without it sliding everywhere. So I'll show you guys exactly what I'm talking about. Stick your flathead in here, pry it out, stick it out like that, and then you'll actually be able to do the same thing over here. You don't have to remove the bracket because you can keep it with one side obviously, but we're going to do the same thing to over here. Let's see if you guys can see that. Basically the same style right there. Pop that, be able to pull this e-brake up, and then cinch these down and be able to pull the whole thing out. Okay everybody, I apologize for the light being in the way, but it's the only way I can see and show you guys what's up. So there is a 15 millimeter right here to remove the brake line. I have a bottle ready to put it in. I'll let that drip guys, and then we'll go over to the other side. So it's an 18 millimeter for the rear subframe bolts. There are 4. I can show you right on the old or the new one so that you know. So it'll be 18 mil here, 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 and here. And what we're actually going to do is to try to explain it to you is we don't have the we don't have 2 of the same jacks. Otherwise what we do is we control one jack on either side and then go down together at the same time. But since we don't have that, we have an old school 2x4, which is obviously really 2 by 4 inches. So what we're gonna do is jack that up right where the spindle meets the control arm on either side, because that's where all the weight's gonna be. And then we're gonna lower it down slowly as we hold it. And if it falls, it falls, and then we'll tell you guys that that's not how you do it. But I'll be honest with you, because I know that you guys respect honesty, so we're gonna go ahead and get this started. I'm gonna make a TikTok in that time, and I'll see you guys when this thing falls. All 4 are out. Okay, dude, it's out. We're getting there. We're gonna pause, pick up some of our garbage or the nuts and bolts and things, and then we are going to clean up the, we're gonna take off one of the struts. We're gonna take off this side. It wouldn't be a problem if we had a lift or something, but we have to take off one of the struts because we have to slide off one of the other sides. So I'm going to remove my side, and then we'll pull it that way so that we can get the whole thing out of here. So that actually ended up working for us by removing this one and then pulling it out this way. We leaned it forward in order to not drag on the calipers as much as we possibly could, but when we were right underneath the car, you just couldn't. So once we got it far enough to where we could lean it back, like for instance like this, we were able to drag it on the 2x4. So if I were doing this again, what I would do is once you have it down, put another 2x4 on the front 2 feet, and then you could just drag it straight out. That's what I would do if I were to do it again, and might even install it that way. I don't really know. I guess we'll just find out how we install it. We'll look into it, but yeah, this is out, and it really wasn't bad. It wasn't nearly as sketchy as I thought it was gonna be. So what I'm gonna do for this is I'm gonna use this as a template to swap everything over here. Not necessarily swap it, but I'm gonna build this subframe based off of this because I don't know how this goes together at all. I just have a bunch of parts. So I'll take I'll just start from scratch, like control arm, okay, this goes here, this goes there, and make it until I have a fully built subframe. So we'll go ahead. Okay, so it's 2 days later, and here's where we're at. I have the spindle set up. I did remove one brake rotor and caliper from the right rear. It was very simple, just two 18mm bolts. Pull off your rotor. I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side because I am going to be keeping my rotors and calipers for this setup or this swap. So I am going to get these repowder coated in Brembo red, so no big deal there. My rotors are in good shape. I'm going to reuse them. They look a little rusty just because they've been sitting, but they'll clean up really good. What's up, GT gang? So basically this footage was way more than I thought it was going to be. So the teardown, which is what you just watched, will be part 1, and part 2 will actually end up being the reassembly and install. So I will upload these back-to-back days, so you'll be able to watch part 1 and part 2 back-to-back. So I apologize that it's not in one video, but I did want to go in as much depth and explanation as I possibly could so that you guys could even do the swap at home. So that being said, I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you so much for watching, if you watched it this long and this far. So I just wanted to add thank you guys so much for the support, especially if you came from TikTok, where I have 61,000 followers, which is pretty insane that it's kind of transitioned over into YouTube too. YouTube is where I'd like to sit at with all those followers too. So thank you so much, and if you are watching and you're not subscribed, you're definitely doing something wrong. You need to hit that button, hit some notifications, and we do some pretty sick builds, and I actually have a little bit of sneak peek for you guys. Let me show you. So this is all I'm going to give you guys for a sneak peek. Stay tuned for the next one, guys. I will not be uploading any more content on that. So when that video comes out, be ready because that's going to be sick. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.